In today's video, we're going to turn this brick caliper from this to this. Let's get started. Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tesla DIY. My name is Perry. Hope you guys are staying safe with all the craziness out there right now with the self-quarantine and COVID-19 stuff. Not gonna lie, it's been quite nice working from home and giving me all the opportunity to work on all my projects, including this one. I have some dramatic lighting going on just to stay focused in what we're doing today and ignoring all the mess I have, other project I have, which I plan to talk about on this channel a little bit. It's not really Tesla related, but for those of you interested, some electric go-kart built. These are ones that I've done, and I'm working on that one. Video is gonna come to this channel soon, but today we're gonna be painting calipers, and finally I'm gonna paint them. Things that you're gonna need here is I'm gonna be wearing some gloves because I hate washing my hands, or well, I have to wash my hands, but with all the paint and stuff stuck on your hands, some masking tape. This is a G2 caliper painting system. G2 is the brand. Got most of these stuff from Amazon. They're about 60 bucks for the paint kit. It's a brush-on system, which I've used it in the past for one of my MR2, and it was pretty nice. And I have seen a couple other Tesla owner uses the same kit. It's a little less messy with the brush because you wouldn't have to worry about overspraying and do a little less masking job. However, once everything is done, I will be protecting the calipers with these 2K SprayMax clear coat. It's got the hardener. It's as close as a real paint job, I would say. So, and then I have some Tesla wording lettering decals. For some reason I bought black, so I went ahead and did some research, and they don't really have to be high heat because we don't really use our brake that often, and so regular decals works. And I have a vinyl plotter at home and I have some white decals, so I went ahead and cut up some decals of my own. I have these just in case. Not sure how these are gonna work. Some brick cleaner. I'm gonna clean the brick a little bit. I do have some sandpaper. I have 320 grits here. I have a bucket of water. I'm gonna be do some wet sanding prep. Not sure if this is necessary, but in my opinion, if I'm gonna be painting over the caliper, I can't go back anyhow, so might as well prep the surface, sand it down a little bit, and make sure the paint bonds really well with the caliper. So first thing we're gonna do is put the car on the jack stand, and what I'm gonna be using is this awesome jack stand from SAFEJACKS. Got them from shop.teslarati.com for 150 bucks, I think. I have a promo code for these guys if you guys are interested. And so let's go ahead and put the car on the jack stand, and then we move the wheels. Alright, so just like that, the wheels are off, and For those who always ask, these are the block sport spacers. They've been on the car for more than 2 years now, I guess, something like that, and they hold up just fine. Never had any issues, so there you go. And for those who wonders, this is my custom coilover setup with Integra shocks and iBox springs. They're height adjustable, and that's about it. Alright, so finally we're gonna start prepping the calipers. I'm gonna start with the rear calipers. It's not the more exciting one. The more exciting one is the one in the front because they're legit bramble. So, but anyways, like I said before, we're gonna be using some brake cleaner to clean them first. Maybe I'll spray some on the modified caliper just to get any oil, grease, debris from your daily use. Just anything that I can remove, I would like to get it out of my way so I get less masking to do and just less chance of making any mistake. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm gonna continue to just wipe it down and I'll check back with you guys. So after studying the caliper off the camera for a little bit, I had realized that for areas like this, unless I really remove the caliper and remove the brake pad, there's no way I can avoid this clip right here. The right way would be to remove the clip. However, for my concern, I think I'm just gonna carefully mask off, and I'd rather not paint that little spot where I'm not covering on the bottom here than to paint over these clips. I'd rather just keep the clips and everything untouched. For the back, this bracket here I can remove is a 10mm bolt. This one is there's probably fluid gonna leak out, so I'm just gonna leave it. All I'm removing is this bracket, and I already cleaned down all these little gaps and everything with brake cleaner. I'm gonna be running some wet sandpaper and just lightly sand over the surface just a little bit, get all the remaining debris and maybe the brake cleaner, whatever that will avoid the paint to bond to. So alright, so this is about as good as I can get it. Like I say, I could challenge you guys to look for any spot that I missed, but the brake pad bracket is well covered. All the bolts, all the little rubber bushing, all the bolts that I can remove, and even the inside the disc, just in case if any paint drips. And for the back, I'm not sure how much coverage I can get, but I had it pretty well covered as well, and it is all cleaned up, masked off, and time for paint. So I'm actually curious to what's in this kit as well, so let's open it up together. It's been over 10 years, if not 15, since I used one of these kits. They have all different colors, and I choose red just to be safe, but I did have some vinyl wrap idea which may be a conflict to the red caliper, but maybe I can just redesign my vinyl setup. Here is what the hell. So it comes with a brake cleaner, so why do I have to use my own? Anyways, this is good. If you don't have brake cleaner or anything to clean your brake, it comes with it. So leading DIY car styling accessories, brick caliber paint system, reactor, read all chemical caution on box. So this is the actual paint, I believe, brick caliber paint system, and red. Okay. Oh, little makeup kit. There you go. Little brush. This is what you're gonna use to apply on caliper instead of a paint system or spray paint. Little obstacle stick to mix your paint. G2 decal sticker for sale if anyone wants to buy it. Okay, so basically it tells you all the steps that I just did, and we're at 2A right here, application. So you're gonna pour the entire reactor into the paint and then stir it with your popsicle stick. Let it mix for about 5 minutes before applying the paint, and then you would apply the paint on the caliper or drum, whatever brake system you have. Thin coat. Alright. You would apply the paint and wait 15 minutes between coat and apply your second coat to cover any bubbles and any uncovered area. And then when you're all done, they don't mention it here, but after that I'm gonna be letting it dry for 2 hours to cure time, but you don't drive the car until 24 hours later, which they probably did not expect self-quarantine, so I won't be driving the car anyhow. So, but after 2 hours I will then put the Tesla lettering decals on and spray a couple coats of the 2K clear coat to protect everything underneath. So it sounds like my kids are telling me to go eat dinner now, so I'm going to save the paint after dinner. Alright, so it is the next day because I had realized that for the sake of this video I was going to just do one side, and then off camera I'm gonna do the other side the next day. But after reading the instruction where the paint needs to be mixed in with the reactor and basically apply the paint within 24 hours or whatever, I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to go through the hassle to separate the paint and separate the reactor in half and mix half of it and did it for you guys, and then the next day do the other side. So instead I paused and basically, and because I only had one side lift up, the other side I parked too close to the garbage bin and everything else. I was too close to this side, so I can't lift this off the ground. Otherwise I would have done all four. So for you guys, I would highly recommend get all four corners off the ground and prep all four. So when you're ready to apply the paint, you're not waiting, you're just basically mix in the paint and start painting all four corners one at a time. That's what I did. And so this morning I moved the car toward the middle and get enough space on both sides and have all four corners lift up. So I'm back to where I was last night. So let's continue masking off, and then I already cleaned the front. There's nothing really to show you guys, but the masking process, I do have several things I see I have to do differently. First thing first, there's these bleeding valve needs to be masked off. What I'm thinking to do is hammer these out, remove the brake pad brackets and the brake pad itself, so I can get complete coverage to the back side here and everything else, and avoid painting over these pins and of course the brake pads and everything else. So I'm not sure if there's a specific tool for this job, but what I'm using is a screwdriver that has a smaller diameter, because we're going to be hammering the pin to go through the other side, but doing so we have to guide it through, and when we're hammering, the screwdriver has to go through this hole for the pin and help push it through the other side. So here we go. See, so this is what I'm saying. So it has to be smaller, so it will go through. Same thing for this one. Well, probably a good time to check the pads too. This is pretty good. Looks like brand new. Never used much of it. There you go. So that's it. I already cleaned majority of the brake, but there's some spot that I couldn't get to. The most dirtiest part is within this well right here. So I'm gonna be spraying some more brake cleaner and clean it off. Alright, so it's actually almost an hour later, I guess, that I went around and cleaned off all the other brake calipers on the other side. And what I started doing now is putting these garbage bags, wrapping it from the back side to the front. And because I will be spraying clear coat, so I want to make sure, although when I brush it, I don't expect much spill or over spray or over brush, just so I get it out of the way so I don't have to do the bagging after the base coat. So I guess this consider me bagging my car, I guess. So yeah, I'm bagging my car with garbage bags. So here we go. Alright, so finally we are about to mix the paint. So what we have here is the mixing stick, the main base coat. Mixing ratio 8:1. Okay, so this is half ounces and this is 4. So yeah, 8:1 ratio. The entire bottle of reactor into paint. So this is the red paint. Okay. So this is the brush that comes with the kit. It's really stringy. So when you use it, it's probably gonna create a lot of brush stroke and you know, it's not gonna be smooth. So what I have here is a little foam brush. I don't even know where I got this from, but I would recommend just get one of those painter's foam brush. But since everything is closed right now, so I think this will be fine. I'll just spread the paint on the caliper with this brush, and then if I see any brush stroke, I'll just go do it with this little foam brush. So I'm gonna open this and just pour the whole thing in. Okay. Mix. Okay, so I've been mixing for a couple minutes now. Just like everything that you're mixing, any chemical you're mixing, you want to mix thoroughly, scrape the side, turn it, you know, whatever you gotta do to get everything all blend together. So I think it's about time to lay our first coat of paint. So you want to go slow, go thin. Imagine this is your daughter and you're doing her makeup, I guess. Take it that serious. I'm actually very excited that I got to this point because it seemed like forever from the beginning. From the moment I started, you know, jacking the car up, doing it twice, masking it, removing it, redoing it. You know, people getting the problems from like what before. So the painting process doesn't have much technique, I guess, other than what I mentioned. Maybe go through it with a foam brush, but just be really careful, especially around, you know, areas where it's next to something that you're not supposed to paint over, like those bleeding valves and brick pad brackets and all that stuff. Alright, so this is first layer done, brushed on. make sure you look from the underside at every angle you could possibly reach to make sure you didn't miss any spot. On the back side, I have a pretty good coverage. I don't think I missed anything. I actually forgot to remask this part after I had to move the car from last night, but I carefully paint over them or around them over. But yeah, the back has good coverage. I could go back until I got all 4 corners done. I want to make sure I have enough paint. I'm definitely gonna come back to make sure everything is well covered. So moving on to the other 3 wheels, and then I'm gonna come back. It says wait about 15 minutes between coats, so when I'm done with the other 3 coming back, that should give me more than enough time to apply my second coat. So alright, so first layer of all 4 corners is done. What I've learned that is the paint dries pretty fast, so for areas where you want to make sure it looks good, like the front face, you want to make sure before the paint dries or before it becomes taggy, you want to run through the brush again to get rid of any brush stroke that you might have, or any overrun, or any bumpy surface like that maybe the paint didn't get onto a certain spot. You want to get all that out of the way before the paint dries to a taggy stage. So but yeah, so it's time for the second coat. I will show you guys once everything is done. Okay, so this is after another hour or so. All 4 corner has been coated multiple times. I went back and see if I miss any spot and just add more coats to the layer. Make sure you clean your brick really well. Even if you have to clean it multiple times, use different chemical. Maybe finish it off with alcohol to just make sure anything that you put on top is being washed off. Alright, so it's been a couple hours at dinner just now, and the paint is dry to the touch, and that means we're good to clear coat to protect the paint. So like I said, what I'm using is a can of this 2K clear coat from SprayMax. I have 2 of these cans just because they're cheaper to buy 2, and they're really good stuff, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using my other can for other projects. 1 can's probably a lot more than we need for this project, but anyhow, so you want to take the top, this red cover off, and insert it on the bottom where the activator is. Little activator on the bottom where you're gonna hit it hard and have it activated. And it says once activated, pots alive is about 48 hours, so about 2 days later the whole can will harden and is no longer good for anything. So here we go, we're gonna pop it. Now we can push it and just make sure it's completely activated, and then give it a good shake. And also make sure you wear a respirator because this stuff is really toxic, it's really strong. It's recommended to have full protection and whatnot, so give it a good shake. Okay, respirator on. The spray bottle is well mixed, so we're gonna start spraying. Like I said, I'm gonna not put the sticker on the back, and also usually I keep it at about a 6-inch distance, but to avoid overspraying to my bumper and everything else, I'm gonna keep it slightly closer, but not too close. Just do it lightly, light coat. You don't really need a lot of coat. You actually don't even need clear coat for these paint, but I figure why not. Maybe it'll help even out the paint and also give it a slightly more glossy finish. So there we go. Okay, and then I'll go to the front. So this is gonna be the interesting one because, like I said, I bought the wrong sticker. To be honest, red calipers with black lettering is not too bad. I had googled it and seen some image. Doesn't look too bad, but I'm gonna see if the white one works. These are the one that I cut out, so not that I don't trust myself, but I don't trust myself. So let's see. Like I said, I'm gonna also cut out the logo. I'm not gonna use the logo. So it's gonna be the lettering. So okay. So that's all there is. Alright. I'm gonna try to line it up so it's dead center. That looks pretty good. There you go. Now, this is gonna protect the paint and protect the sticker on the caliper. So, on the front, you can't really skip the clear coat, especially if you're applying the decals. So, here we go. So while we're waiting for the paint to dry, I do want to do a little quick recap. Overall, I think that there is a lot of potential run because the paint does dry pretty quickly. About if you're painting the front and you want to go to the back, when you're almost done with the back and you come back to the front, the paint's already kind of taggy, which leaves a lot of bumpiness on the surface of the paint, where a spray-on system would probably don't have that issue as long as you're spraying light coats. So overall, I don't know if you can see, but the surface is a little bit wavy. I'm hoping the clear coat can even it out a little bit. However, I don't think anyone's gonna get that close to see it. So in the end, would it matter? I'm not sure. As far as crap work, a brush-on system is definitely, it's less crap work than if you were to spray paint the whole thing, because there's a lot of tolerance where you can potentially miss a spot where you're masking, but because you're brushing it on, you have the control to brush around anything, versus spray paint, you just have to make sure 100% everything is well masked off, otherwise there will be overspray everywhere. So alright, so this is another brand new day. I'm really taking my time here because I'm not driving my car anyways with the quarantine thing going on. So just here I have my garage open so I get plenty of light for you guys to see the final product. See, I can touch it, saw dry. The paint is super solid thanks to the 2K clear coat and also the epoxy paint from the G2 Caliper paint system. Like I said, the disadvantage of the brush on is it's hard to apply the layer evenly compared to a spray paint system where one coat for the whole thing and then another coat layer by layer. By brushing it on, it's hard to apply it evenly, I would say. Most likely user error, but that's my experience. I might wet sand the surface a little bit and then add another coat of these just to even that out. I doubt anyone's ever gonna see the difference, so I might just do one and see how the difference is and if it's even worth the effort to do it. So alright, so 2 minutes within wet sanding, I had quickly realized that a lot of the bumps are in the red paint, which is the base coat. So even though I put like 6 layers of clear coat on top, that's not really gonna help even out the surface, the finished surface. So I think I'm just gonna call it good, and well, it looks like I have to repaint some clear coat on this caliper, but I'll do that, and then I'll rip everything off, unmask everything, and get you guys some final product shots. So I thought this is pretty interesting. These are the paint with the activator or reactor, whatever they call them, and see, they are dried and they are not completely hardened, but definitely not usable anymore. It's definitely try to plan your installation, make sure that you have enough of time to use the product before it's dried out. 24 hours is what they said, and this is as I'm filming, it's right about 24 hours. So oh, and here's a quick comparison between, obviously I have some adhesive residue left on the right side, but the left side is clear coated with the 2K, and then the right side, you can look at here compared to here. I'm not sure if you can see any difference at all, but this side is clear coated, this side is not. So